Hello Agileers! We are thrilled to bring you another powerful update from AgilePoint's AI and Machine Learning Toolkit, introducing the AI Control Tower for Azure Machine Learning. This groundbreaking feature is here to transform the way you integrate predictive AI into your applications and orchestrations, all while ensuring governance, control, and seamless collaboration between humans and AI. Just a few weeks ago, we introduced the AI Control Tower with a series of videos that offered both high-level overview and in-depth technical configuration walkthroughs. If you haven't seen them yet, you can scan the QR code to access those resources. Now, we're excited to announce that the AI Control Tower Predictive AI agents are fully compatible with Azure Machine Learning. With the AI Control Tower, you can effortlessly leverage the power of predictive AI to streamline operations, reduce risks, and optimize decision making. And the best part? Well, you can achieve all of this without sacrificing oversight or control. So what exactly is the AI Control Tower? As covered in our initial announcement, the AI Control Tower is a suite of monitoring activities that work in harmony with predictive AI, creating what we call Predictive AI Agent. This agent enables real-time monitoring, control, and adaptive management of your process instances, adjusting them dynamically based on AI-driven predictions. At its core, the Predictive AI Agent is an AgilePoint machine learning agent built on our monitoring activity framework. It integrates with machine learning services like AWS SageMaker and Azure Machine Learning. That has been said, the setup and functionality of predictive AI agents are identical across both platforms, with the only difference being the service they connect to, either Azure Machine Learning or AWS SageMaker. Let's zoom in and see it in practice. I have now switched into my app builder environment, and I'm going to use the same process model as originally used for the AI Control Tower announcement. Now, the Azure Machine Learning Control Tower activities can be found under the Azure Machine Learning Activity Library. To access them, we can go and search for Azure, and we have the Azure Machine Learning. Click on it, and there we have it. In this release, we are introducing the 4 key predictive AI agents. Those are prediction, adapt flow, prediction, initiate sub-process, prediction, send notification, and get prediction. Now again, those are identical to the predictive AI agents as we have seen with the original announcement and are based on the AWS SageMaker, but those are for Azure Machine Learning. Now, stay tuned because future update will bring even more capabilities introducing the image classification agents, just like we had with the original announcement for AWS SageMaker. Let's now use one of them to have a deeper look. I'm going to use the first one, prediction adapt flow, and drag and drop it into my canvas. Now let's have a deeper look under the hood. As mentioned, the Azure Machine Learning Predictive AI agents are fully identical to the ones from the original announcement, which are based on the AWS SageMaker and follow the same exact configuration options, functionality, and lifecycle, which has already been covered in details with the AI Control Tower Predictive AI Agent Deep Dive blog. If you haven't seen this yet, I strongly encourage you to pause on this video now and go through these blog posts and its walkthrough videos, as the only difference between the two is the machine learning service they use. This is the only difference in the configuration, which we will review in this video. Okay, so we start by providing a name for this predictive AI agent. I'm going to keep the default, just add an Azure and remove the .9, as I'm going to skip most of the configuration anyway and just focus on the difference. And click on the next, which will get us to the actual predictive AI agent configuration. Now, as we covered in the tech overview video with the original announcement, you start by adding a configuration. and actually you can add multiple configuration, and the same predictive AI agent can support multiple configuration. And you can also give this configuration a name. I'm going to name it predict next activity, which is what the underlying predictive AI model I'm going to use is going to predict. And once added, you can focus it, and the configuration option will get enabled, and you can start go through the different configuration option and configure them as you need. Now again, the main difference, or the only difference between the Azure Predictive AI agent, the Azure Machine Learning Predictive AI agents, which we are going to see in this video, to the ones we covered in the tech overview with the original announcement, which are based on the AWS SageMaker, is the first tab where you configure the machine learning service being used, which in this case is the Azure Machine Learning. All the other configuration options, triggering event, request, response, and additional actions are exactly identical and the same. They have the same configuration option, same functionality, and the same everything. So we are not going to go through them and configure them this time. They are already covered in the tech overview video, and if you haven't seen this yet, then I strongly encourage you to pause on this video now, go ahead and see these tech overview videos, and then resume on this one, because we are going to focus just on this first tab where we have the difference between the Azure Machine Learning to the SageMaker, which is where we're configuring again the machine learning service being used, which is either Azure Machine Learning or AWS SageMaker. Now the Azure Machine Learning service actually does have slight advantage on top of the one from the AWS SageMaker, because in this one we only need to select an access token for the Azure Machine Learning, as opposed to the SageMaker, which on top of selecting the access token you still need to have some additional configuration. But with the Azure Machine Learning Predictive AI agent, you just need to select, or of course if you don't already have an Azure Machine Learning Service access token ready, you need to configure one, which we'll go through so you can see how to configure a new one. But that's it. Once you've selected on the access token, then you can go ahead and configure the rest of the configuration options, which again we are going to skip for this one. Now going back to this first tab, and in the case you don't already have an access token, then I'm going to show you now how to create one. But before doing so, just a quick note about access token. You can have either a global access token like this one. As you can see, in the end it has a global in a bracket, which means that it's being configured from the AgilePoint Managed Center App Builder Global Access Token section, which means that this access token can be shared and reused across different applications within the same environment, within the same tenant. Okay, or you can also create an access token from the application. In this case it will be an application level access token, as we can see at the end in the bracket app token, which means an application access token, which means that it can only be used by this application and cannot be used by other application. It basically means it's a private access token for this application. Okay, either way they work and function the same way from the access token perspective, and they have the same configuration for the access token. The only difference is again from where you can configure them. Application access token are being configured from the application, and global access token are being configured from the Managed Center App Builder Global Access Token sections. But other than that, they have the same configuration and same functionality. Now I'm gonna click on select again so I can configure a new one, so you can see how to configure a new one, and it would have the same configuration even if we configure it from the global access token section in the Managed Center. So for this you start by providing it a name. So I'm going to give it a name Azure Predict and Next Activity. I'm just going to add a 2 because I already have one. And for the rest of the information, the web service URL, the API key, and the schema URL, we need to grab those from the Azure Machine Learning workspace. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead into my Azure Machine Learning workspace, where I have the predictive AI model I'm going to use deployed as an endpoint. And I'm going to go into endpoints, and then I'm going to drill into the endpoint hosting the predictive AI model I want to use, which is this one. I only have one, so going inside of it. And now you can see from the details tab, you can see different information about this endpoint, but we already have the REST endpoint available from this details page, so we can copy it into the clipboard and now head back into the access token and paste it into the web service URL. Okay, now go back again to the workspace endpoint details, and we also have the Swagger URI, which we can select and copy into our clipboard, and this will be pasted into the schema URL. And lastly, we need to have the API key, so go back again into the one endpoint and now switch into the consume page. And in the consume page, you can see we have a primary key and we have a secondary key. You can copy any of them into your clipboard, and now go back into the access token and paste it on the API key section field. And now you can click on the test connection, and if everything is okay, then, and it should, then connection is successful. And at this point we can click on the done, and basically we're done. That's it. Now we have the access token ready, and then we can now go and configure the rest, which we are going to skip for this as it's already covered in the tech overview from the original announcement. I would point out one more very slight difference, and actually an advantage, the Azure Machine Learning has on top of the AWS SageMaker, which we can see in the request tab. Since the Azure Machine Learning endpoint provide this Swagger URI, which we have used in the access token, this Swagger URI provides a discovery service to automatically describe the input schema required by the underlying predictive AI model, meaning what fields does the predictive AI model expect to get as an input in order to provide its prediction. And since this is automatically provided, we can use this, and this allows you to automatically just go and start map your fields from your application on the left to the fields required by the predictive AI model on the right. This schema has been automatically discovered using this Swagger URI. Now I'm not going to go through and map the complete all the different fields. This schema mapper is, you should be quite familiar with the video because it's commonly used across the Agile Point platform. But a key point is that this is automatically discovered, which at this point in time is not available with the AWS SageMaker. AWS SageMaker does not provide this discovery service, and as covered in the technical overview video of the AWS SageMaker, you need to first manually provide the input schema of the underlying predictive AI model before you can start map your input into it. So if your underlying predictive AI model uses a JSON input, then you need to provide the JSON payload. And if it uses a CSV input, then you need to provide the column names and order before you can do this mapping. But in the case of Azure Machine Learning endpoint, because of this Swagger URI and because of this discovery service, we can skip on this manually providing the schema input and just start map our application fields into the predictive AI model inputs fields. And that's basically it. And with that, we are concluding on this video. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned as we will have more coming up, like the Azure machine learning image classification agents. And we're also going to introduce and announce on a predictive AI agent custom developer guide that will also come with a boilerplate, which will allow you to quickly jump in and develop your own custom predictive AI agent in the case you are not using a machine learning service as we support out of the box, such as AWS SageMaker or Azure Machine Learning. It will allow you to quickly develop and deploy your own custom predictive AI agent to work with your preferred or self-hosted machine learning service. So stay tuned, and thank you again for watching. See you in the next video.